Happy Friday, everyone. We are here on Friday, July 4th, 2025, for a themeless Friday puzzle. This one by Colin Adams, who apparently has done a number of Friday puzzles in his, among his contributions to the New York Times Daily Crosswords. And it being July 4th, and especially if today's mini puzzle is any indicator, we may have some Americana references in the grid. So I'll have to unfortunately pretend to be American for the next little while, maybe, to get some of these. But we'll see how that goes. Let's get right into today's puzzle for Friday, July 4th. Aesthetic features of some jeans. I feel like this might be like something to do with like torn jeans or something like that, but I'm not sure what noun they'd be looking for here. Scroll sites. Where would you see scrolls? Move like a model. Is this like strut or something like that? Let's see. Singer-songwriter King with 2014's X's and O's. I should know this. I recognize that song. Who wrote that? Gosh. King. 8 vis-a-vis 7 and 9. Is this the mean, the mathematical mean between, or of 7 and 9, the average of the two numbers? I think that's probably it here. Hurly-burly. My mind is going to hurdy-gurdy, which is an instrument. Hurly-burly, is that like a ruckus or something like that? Let me check some downs. That one's quite long. Only MLB player to have 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a single season. This is Shohei Ohtani, who did it, I think, just last year. Or have they done it for 2 years now? Anyway, a remarkable feat, considering that sluggers, meaning people who hit a lot of home runs, and speedsters, people who steal a lot of bases, often don't share a sort of a body type. It takes quite a unique person to be able to do both. Actress Colette with an Emmy and a Golden Globe. Is this Toni Collette? That's sort of ringing a fake bell. I'm going to put it in, see what happens. Retina contents. This might be rods, like cones and rods, which are contained in, or things in your eye that help the mechanism there. Fine, I guess. Okay, something like that. What on earth would this be then? Let's see if that pans out. They put runners out. I don't know. Something might. Oh no, beaters can be whisks here, so that's fine. What about this? One getting really pumped up at a children's party. Is this like a balloon dog or something like that? They put runners out. Tags? Oh, runners. Yeah, okay. So if you tag a runner on the base paths in baseball, you put them out. You get them out. So is this hoo-ha? Hurly-burly? Hoo-ha? Sure, why not? Let's go with that. Cop to. Own up to. If you're copping to something, you're sort of admitting to something. So own up or fess up is another way of saying that. The Spanish alphabet's 14th letter without a tilde, or 15th letter with a tilde. It's the letter N. I think they say N is the way to say the letter N. Show with an illustrious 5-timers club. In brief, this is SNL, Saturday Night Live, which 5-time hosts is what that would mean. Healthful smoothie ingredient. I guess kale would be healthful enough. Put a pilot back into action. Pilot. So it's probably something. Pilot like a pilot for a TV show or something. So like it's like react. I'm not sure about that. Sauntered could be ambled. Okay, so scroll sites could be arcs, like the Ark of the Covenant, sort of ancient vessels for keeping documents and other things. Blank grace. Blank grace. I mean, with the blank, I would have thought something like Your Grace, a title for or like a religious figure. Not sure what we're after here. Huh. What about this? Just being honest. No offense, or I'm not sure. Lukewarm. Another word for lukewarm is tepid. Let's check some of these other crosses here. Handful and more. Is this like lots or something like that? It could be. I'm not sure yet. Tree goop could be resin or sap or something like that. What would this be then? Tree goop, I think it's probably resin. Rapper who won his first Grammy with King's Disease. Rapper. Is this like Nas, like Lil Nas X? I'm like, maybe this is rips. Aesthetic features of some jeans, like ripped jeans, torn jeans. Like the eyes of some Raggedy Anns. So... handful and more could be like a slew. All of this is very tentative. I'm not totally sure about any of this. Go on ahead. I'll catch up. Well, that fits pretty well. Could this be L King? That's a name, just doesn't sound familiar. Just being honest, I can't lie. Okay. Put a pilot back into action. Re-aim? Re-air. Okay, I was right about pilot as a TV show, but just not right about who was doing the putting back into action. Is this Your Grace? That's so... Oh, Her Grace. It could be Her Grace. Like to refer to a princess or something like that. Question that's a humble response to a clothing compliment. This old thing, I think is what they're after there, and it does fit, so I think that's probably right. Roughly 120 for Vatican City. Acres, I know it's quite a small place. That seems like it might be right for Vatican City. What would this be? Order in the court, please rise, as in for the judge when the judge enters. So it looks like this is indeed L King and Nas for the rapper. Happy to have had all those guesses work out. I was not totally confident about that top left corner, but a hefty herbivore, probably a rhino, given what I have in the crosses. Tank tops, expose them, your arms. The P in Paddington Station. The P in Paddington Station. I don't understand what the question is even asking. You know, I read the Paddington books as a child, though I don't remember barely anything about them, and then I have not seen the films, which I feel like would probably make this easier to answer, but anyway, we're going to have to keep looking. Race, place, speed, something, speed, run, or speed, track, or... What about this? Mustang for one. A muscle car, I think is probably what we're after there. Adverb, that's a homophone of 54 down, and 54 is a numerical homophone of 43 across. Numerical. So this one's an adverb. The other one is a number. So is this like 2 and 2 like that. This is my first guess. Let's see. Ivory Coast's main export. Ivory Coast. I don't know what the exports of the Ivory Coast are. Endor inhabitants in the Star Wars universe in The Return of the Jedi. Endor's inhabited, their sort of native inhabitants are Ewoks. This HK looks weird, but it's a nickname, so it could be anything. Nickname for basketball's Mike Krzyzewski. I don't even know. I think the K is going to stand on its own for his last name, and then the first 5 letters will be the nickname part of it. What about this? Slip. To slip, or a slip. An error could be a kind of slip. Okay. The one meaning of the plus in LGBTQ plus in brief. I think probably what they're looking for is arrow for aromantic. For no other reason other than that arrow shows up in the crossword from time to time, and it certainly could be one of many things that falls into the sort of queer group of labels, and one that is not represented by the first 5 letters there. That's my guess. Exploratory trip. Exploratory trip, like a scouting or recon or exploratory. It's not like safari or I don't know. A flying fox is actually a type of this. See, I would have guessed squirrel. Maybe this isn't error after all. But with SQ here, this slip, this couldn't be anything else. So I don't think so. Like many higher ups. Higher ups. Corporate? Like that? And that would make this Ivory Coast's main export cacao, which would be fine. And this might be then a speedway, which would, I had guessed speed track before, so speedway sounds fine. An exploratory trip then could be a foray. A flying fox could be a type of fruit bat then. Why not? Gives a shot, tries. Request at a bar? At a bar? See, I thought this was going to be something like hit me. As in poker, and I suppose like you are playing poker probably at a bar, like that kind of thing, but it seems weird. I don't know. Miss Blank USA, Miss Teen USA, a beauty pageant. Maybe it is. Wyoming's blank pass. I really don't know. Rightmost column on the periodic table. Those are gases, the noble gases. Spot to swing from. Batter's box. A lot of baseball clues. Maybe that's the Americana we're getting in today's puzzle. It looks like it is going to be hit me, in which case the vibe 31 down could be atmosphere. The vibe in a place, the atmosphere in a place. And then Wyoming's Teton Pass, I guess, or Teton Pass. I don't really know how to pronounce that. Never heard of it. When you teach your blank, you teach your blank's blank. Is this sun? When you teach your son, you teach your son's son from the Talmud, putting into a figurative way the idea that you pass on knowledge and that the culture that you build with the next generation sort of passes itself on. Any flaws or any virtues that you build into that you teach your offspring will continue on into the next generation without great intervention anyway. Start to rally. Maybe rally. So that could be rally like come back in a baseball game, or it could be rally as in to sort of muster support for something. I don't know which one they're looking for here. Abso-freaking-lutely. God, yes. Could be. Maybe. Avoiding coverage in a way. Probably something shy. I was going to guess camera shy, but maybe it's radio shy, which I've never heard that expression before. D&D, for example, Dungeons & Dragons is an example of a role-playing game. Santorini sandwiches, Santorini in Greece. Gyros are Greek sandwiches. Well, sort of sandwiches. Oafs, just a word for a sort of a dum-dum or a slow person. Could be oxes, which is an odd thing because the plural for ox, the animal, is oxen. I think that's what this is, but it's weird to see it like that. Anyway, L blank, Six Flags coaster with horns on the front, probably El Toro, horns of a bull. X or XL offering, perhaps. X, is this an Uber? I don't use Uber. So is this like a thing, Uber X or Uber XL? I don't know what those are. Maybe that's not right. Flash setting. Oh, it looks like it is Uber. Okay, so auto. Auto is a flash setting. You can have your flash on or off or on auto. I'm just going to pause this for a second. I need to sneeze. Never mind. Sneeze never came. Okay, looks like this is going to be then media shy, not audio shy. Media shy makes at least a little more sense. Start to rally, still not sure. Vibe, a different vibe here. These are twinned clues. We already have the other one here. Vibe, 31 down, atmosphere. And vibe, 51 could be mood then. Two pieces. Oh, that's a fun clue. Two pieces, question mark. So not like you're falling to pieces, but these are pieces that are to someone. Odes, which are a very common entry in the New York Times crossword. Odes, poetry dedicated to someone. Two pieces, in other words. Intermeshed, wove. I would have gone woven, but if you're looking at it in the active rather than the passive sense, then wove would work. Right, start to rally, maybe. Start to rally. Why I really... Oh, serve. Okay, so a rally like in tennis. The start to a rally could be a serve. The first thing that happens in a rally. Okay, major for someone who can correctly distinguish between Manet and Monet, art history. I probably would not be able to do that. Yeah, I can never remember which is which. Anyway, course in which integration is taught for short. Integration meaning integrals. Calculus is what we're after here. Loud metallic sound, probably a clang. What comes before B? What comes before B? I don't know. 49 down, blank girl, add a girl. Gossip informally. Gossip informally. I don't see that one. Source of many a motto. Latin, the Latin language, many mottos are given in Latin. What comes before B? Is this oral? Oral B, like the brand. Okay, fine. And gossip informally. It looks like this is going to be Chin because nickname for basketball is Mike Krzyzewski. Could be Coach K. That would work if he's a coach for a basketball team. Gossip informally, Chin. I don't know that word for gossip. Anyway, let's find out if this is all correct. Okay, very good. Yeah, some fun and interesting clues here. And some things I felt like I should have known, but didn't necessarily. This upper left corner, I lucked out, I think, or had some good semi-educated guesses. Rips, I was on the right track, but didn't feel confident about that. Slew, I didn't feel confident about. Sewn, I didn't feel confident about. But once I was able to get I Can't Lie and then get these 2 and 3 down, which I did feel quite confident in, I was able to fill in the gaps there. Some other neat clues. I like this 8 vis-a-vis 7 and 9. Just a small amount of mathematical knowledge needed for that one. Balloon Dog is fun too. I thankfully had enough crosses that this was pretty obvious, but it could have, if I had come at it blank, it might have been difficult, although, I mean, not that difficult. One getting really pumped up at a children's party. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe the balloon thing would have been tough to see right away. Shohei Ohtani, again, being a baseball fan, happy to see a bunch of baseball clues in this 4th of July grid, from Shohei Ohtani to batter's box. Yeah, there's another one in here somewhere that I can't see right off the bat, but some good ones there that I, again, was happy that I was able to get pretty quickly. What other fun ones did we have? Oh, this is good too. A flying fox, actually a type of fruit bat. Not necessarily common knowledge, not something I would have been able to pick out, but easy enough to get once I had some crosses. Request at a bar hit me. I still don't like totally get that. I assume they're talking about blackjack, and you're playing blackjack at a sort of a bar there, but no question mark on this clue, and I really wasn't aware that those things are called bars. So maybe just my lack of knowledge there. Cacao and foray took me a little while, but eventually made fine sense. You know, I never looked back at this one. The P in Paddington Station, pence. I guess that just, does that just mean that if you see the letter P in Paddington Station, it's most likely referring to pence as part of like a fare structure or something like that. Like, you know, like, I don't know. Do they even still use pence with? Oh, they don't. Do they even use the euro anymore? Gosh, you know what? I have so little idea of how the entry into and exit from the European Union affected British currency. Do they still use shillings and pence and pounds in Britain? Did they ever use euros? You know, I don't even know. The last time I was in the UK was before all of that. What else here? This is a cool clue from the Talmud, and really sage advice about sort of socialization and that. Like that one a lot. And I think that's the twin clues of mood, atmosphere here, and of vibe, atmosphere here and mood here. That's always fun. This is good too. Add the homophones, 43 across and 54 down, 2 and 2. Happy to have sort of figured that out pretty quickly as well. That wouldn't have necessarily been the case. And this one, I don't know if anybody knows about chin as gossip. That does not ring any bells for me. So, anyway, so there you go. Oh, and this one too, hurly burly, hoo ha. I just don't know what that is. Anyway, feel free to leave a comment if you have any thoughts on any of these entries or clues or anything that I missed. And that may be it for the weekend. I might try and get another couple done next week. But until then, hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like, subscribe if you like, and we'll see you on the next one.